Myton Hospice is a great charity which works tirelessly to ensure that people who are terminally ill get the help they so desperately need. Not only this, but they also work to empower their patients as well as helping them to achieve their goals. Myton seeks to improve the well-being of people who are approaching death by encouraging them to see themselves rather than the illness that they have. For those who have recovered, Myton Hospice will continue to play a part in their lives, helping recoverees to get back to their normal, pre-ill lifestyles, giving them the ability to spend more quality time with family, friends and loved ones. Myton Hospice offers a wide range of services such as the day hospice, where patients can get professional care from nurses and fully trained staff while getting treatment elsewhere. They can also care for the ill in their own homes for people who don't want to visit the hospice itself. On top of this, Myton can provide physiotherapy, counselling and provide support to the family of patients, particularly focusing on helping the children of patients. Finally, Myton Hospice has an inpatient unit which staffs nurses, doctors and other healthcare professionals who can help unwell people to deal with physical and emotional pain or reducing symptoms of whatever illness they may have. An example of someone who was treated by Myton Hospice is Carol, a sufferer of bowel cancer. After being given just 23 months to live due to an incurable cancer in the stomach, Carol visited Myton Hospice in Warwick for the first time. She continued to casually visit the day hospice at Myton whenever she needed support with her illness and knew that when her health deteriorated, she would likely enter the hospice officially. This happened at the start of 2017, and unfortunately, Carol died at Myton Hospice just 10 days after being admitted. Whilst it is deeply saddening that Carol didn't make it, her family have claimed that the hospice made for a much better experience and provided great palliative care. That's care for people who are approaching death with little to no chance of recovery. One of the benefits of Myton for Carol's son, Jason, was that they could stay with Carol 24/7 while she was at the hospice. Part of this is thanks to the family accommodation, which lets the family of a patient stay on site so that they can be sure they won't be away in case something urgent happens. For many people, this is the exact kind of service which helps to lessen the trauma associated with such a heartbreaking experience. So, why does Myton Hospice need our money? Firstly, the cost of housing the relatives of patients is £25 per day. This same amount is the cost of 1 hour of specialist nursing care. With £80, a child can attend 5 bereavement counselling sessions, and for a Myton home visit, it costs £106. As you can tell, these costs add up very quickly, especially considering the number of people using the services provided. In all, Myton Hospice needs £9.6 million each year just to cover their costs, and they need our help to continue delivering this vital, necessary and beautiful service, because someday we may need it ourselves. Please donate to Myton Hospice. Thank you.
Hiya. Today I want to talk to you all about the Coventry Comfort Carers, based in our city centre at St Columbia's Church. This voluntary organisation was funded by John P. Coote to help aid those who are victims of domestic abuse, homelessness or struggle with addiction. The volunteers at Comfort Carers cook, provide lunch packs for those who are homeless, give sleeping bags and rough sleeper packs, which include essentials like toiletries, clean socks and underwear, and sanitary products for women. The charity also offer one-to-one support with families and young adults aged 16 to 24 to ensure they are safe and have shelter, to put them up in hostels and care facilities. Coventry is sadly one of the biggest food bank users across England, and without the help of this organisation, many of our city's families would go hungry. For many of you, it is probably unimaginable to think that one day you could go home and to not have food, but that is a reality for many in our community, especially those who are in hope for food and shelter. I'm sure all of you at one point have walked across our city centre and realised the vast amount of people without homes. Sadly, many people across the UK really struggle in cold months, and as a result of this, many have died and sadly a few have been attacked due to their vulnerability. Without this charity and the help of its volunteers, those without home across Coventry would not be as well supported or as safe. However, this charity is funded by the public and schools like ours, which is why they need our help and donations to ensure better safety for those who are homeless. Ignorance can be one of the worst and main reasons homelessness across Britain and especially Coventry is increasing, yet these people need our help and donations. The Coventry Comfort Carers also aid those who suffer from domestic violence and refer them to safe accommodation and offer support and counselling. This charity does an incredible job of changing lives and helping people overcome hard situations that any of us could be faced with in the future, which is why this organisation needs my help and yours to protect the vulnerable in society. Thank you.
Andrew Robinson was a man with a calling to promote his Catholic values by helping Coventry kids get the respite they deserve. What began as an annual trip to Drayton Manor has been expanded to encompass 2 trips to Alton Castle, one of which being over Christmas, giving children the opportunity to enjoy Christmas to its fullest extent, which they may have been unable to do previously. Perhaps because the charity is the smallest of the 3 being offered, it's a deeply personal experience intended to help nurture and develop the skills necessary for young people, giving them the confidence to grow. It'd be hard for me to impart to you the massive impact these experiences have on our young people. It may be easier to ask for yourself, as several of our own students have benefited from the group, being as the charity is near and dear to members of our local community and members of staff. As such, we have an even greater idea of what the charity means to students. Miss Isherwood gave me several accounts of students who had reminisced with her years after the trip, commenting on how they felt the experience had changed their lives for the better. Unfortunately, these trips don't come cheap, with outgoing expenses last year totalling over 20 grand. However, I hope that, like me, you'll decide that this group is fully deserving of this school support and in reaching this goal and providing more children life-changing experiences. Andrew Robinson, Charity Trust.